Hosea 5 through 8, God continues to rebuke the apostasy of his people, Israel, saying, their deeds will not allow them to return to their God. We too need to literally repent of our wicked, sinful deeds, or we can't come to God. One cannot serve two masters. Who is your master? God says to them and to you and me, I will go away and return to my place until they acknowledge their guilt and seek my face. Have you done this? Come, let us return to the Lord, for he has torn us, but he will heal us. He has wounded us, but he will bandage us. He will revive us after 2 days. He will raise us up on the third day. Surely a reference to the resurrection of Christ. But God says your loyalty is like a morning cloud, here temporarily and briefly and then gone. He says, I delight in loyalty rather than sacrifice and in the knowledge of God rather than burnt offerings. Is your relationship filled with daily fellowship with Christ? Or is it just about ritual and religion? God says, I would redeem them, but they speak lies against me, and they do not cry to me from their heart. They sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. They reap what they sow. For Israel has forgotten his maker. Have you forgotten your maker? Revelation chapter 2, the word of the Lord comes to Ephesus and to us for examination. I know your deeds and your toil and perseverance, and that you cannot tolerate evil men. Notice that God says it's good not to tolerate evil. And you put to the test those who call themselves apostles, and they are not. And you found them to be false. Folks, there aren't any more apostles in the sense of that special group that saw the risen Christ and were commissioned by him to build the foundation of the church. There are those today who claim to be super apostles with a special word from the Lord. No, they're not. And no, they don't. But Jesus says, I have this against you, that you have left your first love. You have moved away from your intimacy with me. You've forgotten that this whole thing is about a love relationship with me. He says, repent and get back to this, or I will remove you from your place. Fall in love with me all over again and point others to the same kind of intimacy with me, or you're not doing what I've called you to do, and I'll find someone else to do it. He doesn't say you lose your salvation. He says you can't be used in the way he wants to use you. The one who hears this from Christ is the real deal and will respond to his Lord. Next, we see Jesus as the first and the last, who was dead and has come to life, saying to Smyrna, I know your tribulation and your poverty, but you are rich, and the blasphemy spoken around you. Do not fear, remain faithful. There is no rebuke for this church, representative of the martyring church, willing even to give their lives. Do you think you would? To Pergamum, Jesus says, I know where you dwell, where Satan's throne is, right in the middle of wickedness. And you hold fast my name and will not deny my faith even in the midst of severe persecution. But you have some among you who encourage immorality. It seems he's saying, confront it and deal with it, church. To Thyatira, the Son of God, who has eyes like a flame of fire, and his feet are like burnished bronze, says, I know your deeds. He knows all and sees all, and your love and faith and service and perseverance, and that your deeds of late are greater than at first. These are all good things according to Christ our head. But I have this against you. You tolerate the woman Jezebel, who influences toward immorality. Confront those who tolerate this. Jesus Christ, our gracious, compassionate, loving, uncompromising head.